What's up, YouTube? It's Winston 1987. I'm doing a Lightfall giveaway tomorrow, or tomorrow tonight. I'm doing it tonight. I have a bunch of other stuff I have to do, um, actual real life important stuff I have to do, and so I wanted to do it yesterday or the day before, and I didn't have time to.
Hunter.
But I said I would do it this week within these 3 days, so I'm gonna do it tonight. Whether that's 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning, doesn't matter. I'll jump on for 30 minutes and I'll do the giveaway. Who cares? Um, the way that I wanted to do it was I would wanted to do it like last time, which is to do it in such a way that such that I give it away to somebody who's actively viewing the stream and is a subscriber at the time, which is what I did last time. But because I don't know what time I'm going to be streaming, if I'm streaming at 2 in the morning, it's very likely that a lot of people that actually do watch my channel and watch my streams and stuff are not going to be on. They're not going to be awake. And so if that happens, I'm just going to have to, grab the people who have been in recent streams, put them in a list, and then do a random drawing. Somebody had asked me last time how I did the random drawing. I did it on my laptop on MATLAB. I programmed it. Uh, but I didn't. I don't have MATLAB on this computer. This is my lady's computer. My computer's over there. My laptop's over there in the background.
Then what?
So I have MATLAB on both of those. So I installed Python on this Spider specifically, so you can see it. So it's got a nice GUI to it. So I'm going to be doing it in real time, updating the list as I go along, and then having it run a random drawing. So that's the plan. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I'll show you what Ada One's got, which is all garbage, by the way. But I wanted to talk about the player count,
Welcome
like everybody
back.
else, right? Is making a player count video. I've mentioned it almost every stream in like the last 2 years when I started streaming. So here, Warmind mods, which are garbage, hand cannon dexterity, auto rifle dexterity, may be useful to you, right? 49, 49, 54, 55, all garbage, basically. Um, but yeah, the player count has gotten worse, and I saw a little evidence of that today, which was I went into a control match, and we started off 5v4. My team had 4, and then it took like 5 minutes or so for us to for our teams to fill up. And at that point, because we were down one player the whole time, the match was already like at a 50 or so point discrepancy. It was horrible. The match needed to just be mercied, but like the newer players on my team or something just continued to cap zones because the other team would let us, because they were destroying. What do they care about zones? But yeah, so the match went on longer than it needed to. But yeah, the player count is absolutely low. So let me show that real quick. So this is the last month. I can also show just the last week. And these numbers are weird because they like change depending on how much of it you're viewing at a time. But like, look at this. Okay, our previous lows used to be like in the 30s, like this, like 36,000. That's already very, very low. And you can see that this happens quite a few times, right? And sometimes it's a little bit higher, sometimes it's a little bit lower. This is weekend trials and stuff. 31,000, and then like here we have one of the biggest drop-offs, which is 17,000, and then you get kind of the same thing, and then here it is again at 9,934, and then this is like the most recent one, the all-time low so far, 5,809. Let me see if I can get back on it. There it is, 5,809 players. Of course, this is just Steam. This doesn't include people playing on Epic or Game Pass if it's still there. People playing on Xbox, people playing on PlayStation. Stadia, if it's still around. I know it was dying. I don't know if it's gone yet. But yeah, these things. I gotta take a phone call. But yeah, the player count is as low as ever, and this season has done worse than the season before, which did worse than the season before that, and so on throughout the entire history of the game. This year has done worse than the previous year, which did worse than the year before that, and so on. Except like the Witch Queen itself did pretty good, but within like 3 months, the player count was the lowest it had ever been. Once again, so it keeps happening, and I think the problem is that like the game is just so samey. It just really it is. Like every activity is designed exactly like every other activity, and there's not any change to the AI. And I think that that's probably the biggest problem in the game for me personally, is that the AI is absolutely terrible. Like they all kind of just like do this little like dodge maneuver, and then they'll shoot you with stuff, and then they'll kind of just like stand there and take shots while they do that, and then they'll do this other maneuver, and they all have their own like animation for it and stuff. But yeah, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Like there was better AI on NES. There's probably even better AI on Atari 2600. And like I know that more complicated or complex AI makes for greater CPU utilization. Like it's harder on CPUs, but modern CPUs are so good and there are so few enemies on the map at any given time that it really wouldn't be a problem anyway. And I think most people would agree that they would rather have more fun gameplay that runs a little bit worse on their computer than the opposite. Um, and that's really where it is for me. Is like it always just feels the same. I don't bother to do any PvE activities because they all feel the same to me. I just play PvP because at least like there are real players. It's really, and I know for some people it's not difficult because compared to the average player, they're good, and so like I say like it's difficult, and it's not difficult in the way that like a grandmaster is difficult or a raid is difficult or something like that, or like a master raid. Those are artificially difficult. You take more damage, you do less damage, there are more enemies, but all of them behave exactly the same as their lowest tier counterpart, or yeah, equivalent. So when you play like the easiest strike mission versus like a grandmaster, yeah, the difference is there are a few more enemies, there are a few more things that hurt you, they have more health, you do less damage and you take more damage, and that's pretty much it. It plays exactly the same. And if you've, and I know like 343 absolutely, if I'm pretty sure it's 343 dropped the ball with Halo Infinite, because it's still, I don't know if maybe co-op has been added now, co-op campaign, but it didn't have it, which was like the biggest thing that everybody was looking forward to, of course, right, with Halo. And so they totally botched it. Nobody cares about Halo anymore. Like even if they add it now, who cares? Like that game is gone by now. Like nobody cares about it. Um, but one of the really, really excellent things about that game, absolutely excellent, and I don't know how it's not talked about more when you're talking about FPSs and stuff, is the AI in it is excellent. If you go, I swear, go play Halo Infinite, do a bot lobby, and set it to the different difficulty settings that it has. Like, do a 1v1 against a bot. Or if you have somebody else to play with you, then do a 2v2 against the bots. And set their difficulties to different things for each match, and you'll see they really do play really differently, and in many ways they play similar to like how a new player to like a more seasoned player to like a good player would play, where like the good player is like, unless you're like a top tier player, they'll kind of just beat you up, and they'll like bait you, and they'll outmaneuver you and like land their shots, where like the lower tier one will kind of more bot walk a little bit, and they'll still try to use cover, but not quite as intelligently. They'll miss more of their shots. Um, yeah, they really do play a lot like players, where like in Destiny, every single AI in the game is terrible. Every single AI in the game might as well be a Goomba, and then like Goomba with a lot of health, Goomba with a gun on it. Like that's pretty much all you get. But yeah, it does seem like the player count is dying to the extent that like I'm gonna be done playing this game soon. I don't know what I'm gonna play after this, as my like main game, but I don't foresee it being Destiny much longer. To the extent that like I don't know, a couple years from now I'll be like, man, remember I used to play Destiny? That was like years ago. And I say couple because that would be true, right? 2 years, and then I thinking back to now, I'd say years ago because it'd be two. In any case, um, yeah, this player count is going to get worse. It's going to ruin PvP by worsening the spread of skill and connection. It's going to feel a lot more empty in terms of PvE as well, even if you're just doing like some patrol stuff. When you're just kind of wandering around, or you try to do a strike mission where it like matches you, like it match makes on the lower tier ones, and like it doesn't match make anybody for you. Like if you're just there by yourself, like hey, what the hell? Where are my extra teammates? I guess nobody's playing, and that's what PvP is kind of like right now. Um, yeah, it's gonna die. It is dying. I've been saying this for a while, and I'm giving away Lightfall, but I'm likely not gonna buy it for myself. And during that period of time, maybe I'll buy it. Maybe I'll buy it just so I can check it out. But that's gonna be about it. And I'm just doing these giveaways because I said I would do them. So I'll be on tonight. I don't know what time. It's probably gonna be pretty late. And if that's the case and like nobody's watching, I'm gonna have to do a random drawing from like people, a list I can make from like recent people on my list of like recent subscribers, people who've commented in some of the previous streams and stuff. Um, and it won't be a very big list anyway. I already know who's gonna ask me. Pirate Kraken, you're automatically in the list. You were with me all last stream. So yeah, don't worry about it. Your spot's safe. And then anybody who won it last time, so Zero won it last time. Zero can't be in the drawing this time. So anyway, I just wanted to rant about it a little bit because it's such a shame, man. Destiny has good graphics for the performance that you can get out of the game. Like you can run it on an RX 480 4 gig, for example, or like I used to run it on my son's computer. He used to run it on R9 290, like medium/high settings, and still like 1080p 60 FPS stable, like 60 minimum, you know, because he plays it on TV, so it has to stay a static 60 basically. So you know, it's a performant game, and I think a lot of the character design and like world design stuff is cool. I think the weapons are cool. I think it's cool that there's so many options, that it's like an FPS but it's like an RPG in a sense. I think there are so many great things about it, and that's why people love Destiny, and that's why I really like it. But yeah, the player count is dying. PvE activity doesn't change. The AI is as horrible as it's ever been. It's like some of the worst AI in any game ever. And yeah, I'm not here to grind loot. That's not at all what I want. I know that's what some people want, is to chase loot. I don't. Not at all. I've been like happy with the same 10 guns I've been using since I started playing, basically. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like taking up some space, some real estate in my mind lately. So I figured I would mention it. And like, this is also, I know I've been busy, which is why I haven't streamed, but I also just have not wanted to play. And then I jump on and I don't really enjoy it. And I'm like, never mind, I'm done. And then I get off. I do have fun like playing with like some of my friends on here. We have a good time and we goof off and we just joke around while we're playing. Like at that point, the enjoyment isn't the game. The enjoyment is, of course, it's just like horsing around. But yeah, one of the guys that I would play with regularly, with me and Zero and this other guy, that guy's already stopped playing like 4 months ago or something like that. And like in the last 4 months, I haven't played much either. So Zero kind of jumps on by himself. But he used to be on enough that like if I got on, he was on, so I could play with him. And like now, the last few times I've gotten on, he wasn't on, so I'm there by myself. So yeah, it's looking like a little bit of, you know, like phone tag, but obviously fire team tag, with my regular teammates, and it's becoming worse and worse, and there are less people playing, and the matches are getting worse, and it's doomed. I'm sure there will be a big influx during Lightfall, but unless they make some real changes to the core game, which I know the hardcores would be really, really, really mad about if they really were to change Destiny. Like, they say they want change, but I don't think they do. I think it would benefit them, and I think they would actually enjoy the game more, but I think they would be mad about it and, like, refuse to play it if that were the case. And if that offends you, then, I don't know. Think about it. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I'm not, right? Like, your emotional response or reaction is something that you can't control, but what you can control afterward, of course, is to think about it and analyze and see, is this statement actually true or untrue? Instead of just, I don't know, getting mad at me or whatever, which you're fine. Like, yeah, you're free to be mad at me if you'd like for whatever comments I make. But yeah, in my case, the matches are getting worse, and that way I'm going to feel less inclined to play. And if that happens any further than what it is now, I don't foresee myself playing Destiny anymore. In any case, I gotta go. So I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna do the thing tonight. Like I said, if there are a good handful of people watching, I'm gonna um, make it so it's only that list of people and the people that were on last giveaway stream, and otherwise I'm gonna just take like a bigger list of like people who have watched streams in the past. So I'll see you guys tonight, and good luck to everybody who's hoping to win it. Yeah, I'll see you guys later.